Namaste, ambassadors, and welcome to Soul Horoscope SuperScope Weekly Report. My name is Christopher Witecki. I am your Sensei to Sirius Joy, and I'm here to help everyone that I can step into their heart and into their personal Sirius Joy. That's enlightenment and buzzwords for me. How you doing, Geminis and Gemini Risings? This is for the Step 5s, if you don't know, which are the Geminis. Step 5, where you feel alive and you connect to everybody. Well, we are in definitely a phenomenal, interesting moment here. I've been watching Geminis changing in a big way. I always watch over my Geminis. As you know, I talked about last week, my son. I've seen him step into a new social realm, but I've also seen many Geminis and Gemini Risings I know relocating to new cities and stepping into new neighborhoods, stepping into new groups, new circles of associations, and most importantly, stepping into a new spiritual definition of where they feel their heart belongs. And that is the consciousness you are upgrading, your context consciousness. What context do you want to put that dual processor of yours, right? So you worked on context. This week, you'll make a major shift in your title and reputation. And although your mind might have gone there a long time ago, this is the moment where I think we start to pop the ice cube out of the tray. And that tray was where you were held back in 4 areas by a grand square. You're going to end up heading towards a new idea of utopia and a new idea of what life can be on Earth. So you're really aiming for a greater life on Earth at the end of the day. But what's making things so damn slow is Mars retrograde on the one hand and this Grand Cross, which is in effect for basically the entire month. Mars will retrograde until May 20th. From left to right, Uranus versus Mars retrograde for you is a redefining of where you believe you belong in society versus a re-examination of what your heart really wants. Now that's the tough part. You have to interview your heart and continue interviewing your heart until your birthday. That's when you will be clear in your heart on what your heart wants. So what you have to do is get out of your own way. In some cases, it's a back and forth between letting go of old attachments, and the reason why you can let go of old attachments in society is because your heart realizes it doesn't really want it that much as it thought it did. Now, the other part of this that's super important as well is Pluto at the north end there, which is saying Geminis have got to get used to new comfort zones. So, there's been a lot of discomfort as you've been thrown into uncomfortable situations and had to redefine your own emotions on the fly. This has been going on since 2009. But the real push point is Jupiter in Cancer, which is ultimately saying, hey, it's time for Geminis to raise their soul capital, get what they deserve, learn how to manifest, learn how to draw through law of abundance. And so your desire to raise your soul capital, make money or whatever, or be productive in new ways, that desire really ends up pushing this whole grid. Because by going forward with your soul capital and self-esteem building, you are forced to be in the new comfort zones, you are forced to reinvent yourself in society, and you're forced to get to the heart of what you really want. So I'm pushing for that. Now, the big shift in awareness is a lunar eclipse in Libra at 25 degrees, which happens early Tuesday morning in the United States or Tuesday afternoon. Well, yeah, based on that. Afternoon in Asia, morning in Europe. But what it will do ultimately, up to 3 days before or 3 days after the eclipse, it has that window period, is kind of take away an old idea you had about love affairs and an old idea you had about creativity. It's time to upgrade what your heart wants. To some degree, because your heart hasn't been realistic maybe with yourself. They didn't really want that. Your mind wanted it, but your heart didn't. And that's a big issue with Geminis and Gemini Risings, that their mind wants it and their heart doesn't. Because the mind can simulate love, and you really got to sit there and meditate and get to the heart of the matter. So by letting go of high-end things you don't really love, you actually free yourself to leap into the place in society that you want to leap into. And that's the essence of it. Now, this is a step 25 eclipse. It happens at just shy of 1 a.m. on the East Coast of the United States. It begins and climaxes at 3:46 a.m. on the East Coast. And so we'll probably sleep through most of it. You want to go to bed Monday night in the United States anyways, saying to yourself, okay, I'm just going to let go of these things my heart doesn't really want. We don't know where it's going to take you when it comes to the sun, but step 25 says it will be a spiritual place that you end up. And you ultimately just need to bring your mind along with your feelings. In essence, go with your feelings, go with what feels right. That's how to steer this whole thing. Now, looking at the week, like I said, the eclipse happens early Tuesday morning. It is in Libra, and it is ultimately going to hit you and suck away some sort of high-end creative project or high-end issue that deals with your heart and its desires. Then lifestyle changes almost immediately Wednesday and Thursday. So there's some sort of a lifestyle change which updates everything. And by the weekend, you're kind of feeling for relationships and you're feeling out for relationships. So this week, it's about your passionate strength for where you want to go in the world and how you want to succeed. That passionate strength turns into courage when you let go of the old early child issues or the heart's issues. You allow things to change in your life, and then you see where your relationships end up at the end of the week. That's where the courage is, that tail end or the after effects of the eclipse. Now, taking a look at the 5 EQs, which are people who have Venus in Gemini, people who love like a Gemini, the 5 EQs are shifting their focus now to career. So by making the right career decisions, you are putting yourself in the right place for the appropriate love affairs. Now, as you well know, I don't know what the statistic is in the rest of the world, but the United States, so many of us actually meet our partners in the workplace. So raise an eyebrow for those 5 EQs. Everyone is your friend to begin with. Remember, that is the essence of a 5 EQ in love, is you begin with friendship. And go ahead and reach out with those friendship, but keep an eyebrow raised, because in your career direction and where you're going with your career, you may be subtly being made to introductions to future love potential. And we'll talk more about that. But of course, Mars has to go direct in Libra before any of us are going to move forward with relationships. So whatever happens, realize that we're talking till just before your birthday, before you would see any traction on that. Now, a couple of things. One, the Megascope monthlies for April are phenomenal. They're 30 minutes. They're your best friend, and they will talk you through both eclipses. We have a solar eclipse at the end of the month. They're just $13.95, and they're available at soulmart.me. I appreciate it. If you would like me to coach you during the day, I take your chart information and send you 5 to 7 personal with text. It's called GA Venus, and it is at gavenus.com. You can find out more. The first week is free if you give it a try. And lastly, if you are on YouTube watching us, please subscribe to our channel. We do appreciate that. If you'd like to see us on Facebook, you can like us at soulgarden.me. And if you want to be on our mailing list, come to soulmart.me, because we email every day the zodiac weather, and I'll email you your horoscopes as well. All right, my friend, I hope you have a good week. I hope you surrender to where your heart really belongs and you let go of the things that don't really matter right now. And I hope that I see you in 7 days more. Until then, I love you, and live, love, be.